All right. So excited to have you here today for this hashtag Thursday Fave session. I'm Melissa with Build a Better Bakery. If we have never met before, what I like to do here online and in person is to help other fellow bakers cultivate their confidence so they can start and grow their baking businesses. So I work with lots of different ranges of people who are just starting out to people who've been in business for 10 plus years. And one of my main focuses really is to get you that confidence so that you can make better decisions for your business, but also so you can generate more income with less burnout. That's a huge problem in our industry. So I want to help with that. Let me double check that we are live. And what I like to do with these sessions is make sure if we have I am here live and I can see your comments. So if you have anything that you want to talk about, go ahead and put it in the comment section of the video. If you're here live, do your hashtag live. Throw it up so I know you've seen this. Or if you're viewing on the replay, throw up a hashtag replay, submit your questions then, and I'll come back and view those questions and answer at a later date. Okay. All right. So today's topic and the theme for January really is common startup debates because January is one of the most popular years or months during the year when people get that kick in the booty to get started with something to do with their business or revamping their business. So I wanted to talk about some debates every Thursday at 9 a.m. Mountain Time right here in the group. And what I see is a lot of people kind of dragging their feet or not necessarily not wanting to launch a menu, but having trouble launching their first menu because they're not exactly sure what should be on it, how big should it be, are these the right things that should be on the menu, etc. And I'm seeing people launch menus that haven't been checked. We'll talk about the two things that I want you to check on your menu in the session itself. So those are things that we need to talk about today because I want your menu when you're coming out, you're showing that off. I want it to be selling for you and easy for the customers to understand what you're doing. So today what I want to do is share some information on the success I've seen with a certain size of menu. I want to give you those specs so you have them on hand and get you a better idea of how to find some data to create a menu that sells rather than something that flops, because that's what we want. And also at the end of this video, I'm going to be offering a special. I like to do that a lot of times during the lives, but they only last for about 24 hours. So I'm going to mention what it is at the end. It's an opportunity where you can get a discounted rate on a related service that helps you get started with menus. And I'll let you know what it is at the end, and I'll give you exactly the information to get that if you're interested. Okay. I am also going to let you know if you want to stay in the know about these lives, there's a few ways that you can do that. The lives happen first here in the Facebook group, and you can check the events in the group to see what we're talking about later in the month. I usually try to post everything at the beginning of the month, and then you can click through and decide which ones you want to come to. You can also send a friend request to Melissa Fryer, which is me. I will get the invite, I'll accept it, and then you should get automatic invites to the events when I make them. The group has gotten so large that I can't send them out to everyone, unfortunately. So we have to be friends to get the automatic invite, or you can look at it yourself. Or you can hang out on the email list where I like to send direct replay links. Usually about every week or two, I'll send an email with some replays, but they're going to be later than the 24 hours. So if I am doing some kind of special, you'll likely not see it in time. And then lastly, another good option is to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because what I usually do is record this session and then I like to upload it to YouTube pretty much right away so that both platforms can see it about the same time. And then it also catalogs all the videos there. They're also in the featured section here in the group. So you can find a big catalog of those in either place. So mention again, I go live at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. So you can also set an alarm if that's something you want to come to regularly. I have a couple people who like to do that. And if for some reason I'm not here, I'll mention in the group that I can't show up that day, but it's usually every Thursday. Okay. And it just makes it so that you have some new fresh content every week, so that if you're interested in growing your business and you just need a little inspiration every week, that's what I'm here to do. All right, so we're going to hop right in with the topic of menu size and some insights that should make your menu building easier. That's my goal for today. If you have questions about menus, put it in the comments. If you have questions about what I'm talking about, put it in the comments and I'll come back and we can discuss. All right, so number one, how many items should be on a menu? That's just a very basic question that I see a lot of startups asking. What are we looking at here? What seems to be the best? And I think the answer to this one is a mix of buyer psychology and efficiency. in a nutshell, there's no set number. I can't say 12 things, 15 things. That's really not how it's not going to work correctly for every business. It's going to be a little bit different depending on what you offer, where you're at, what your abilities are as far as menu stacking, how many different products are you able to make at this point, etc. So what I usually suggest, instead of giving you a straight number, is telling you to stay within the max of one page. So we're going to just rein it in and we're going to stay on one page for your main menu. Then when you're going to break down the menu, I suggest staying around maybe 3 product categories or less. I apologize. I thought I turned my sound off. Guess not. So with the 3 product categories, what that will help you do is hone in what you plan to do with your business. And starting there is going to help you more easily build a stronger menu rather than having a huge menu full of lots of products that you maybe aren't super good at making yet, because that's not going to attract more clients in the long run. And I'll explain why that is later. So 1 page, 3 product categories or less. And we want to make sure there's room for other important things like branding and contact information. So if you're trying to stack this menu and it's getting to like 8-point font and you can barely read things and there's no room to tell people how to order, then we need to, would suggest reining back so that you can have room for that important information too. Because of all of this, having that one single page is going to help you out, especially when you're trying to share a menu online, because a lot of times we're sharing an image. And if there's multiple images, sometimes people don't click on that to view through it. Some platforms will show multiple images together kind of in a collage, but then it gets smaller. So we want them to be able to see it and read it, and sticking with that one page is just easier in general. And then if you have a menu in person, you only have to display one piece of paper or one poster. It saves on room. And we want to make sure that when clients are looking at our offers, they're seeing everything in one place, because we don't want them to miss the last page. Oh, it's got my, one of my favorite things on it, or that's where the contact information is, etc. We want them to see it all at once. But keeping in mind that it has something else to do with buyer psychology, not just the efficiency of having the single page, but also that humans are easily distracted just in general, and it's getting even worse. So we're trying to combat that by making sure people can get everything in one spot. And science tells us that too many choices leads to indecision. We know that. So I would never tell you as a mentor to have a bunch of choices, because I don't want people to be turning away from your offers because they're getting confused or overwhelmed. And we want buyers, not tired, confused people. We want them to make a choice. Now, this is why it's the debate, right? Some people that I've talked to have said, oh, but look at Cheesecake Factory. Look at all of these businesses that have these huge menus and they're doing so well, to justify having a big long menu, because maybe they don't want to take the time to hone it in, or maybe they're not sure how to hone it in, whatever that might be. But to me, when I think about a business with a really large menu, I'm seeing that more as part of their core branding and something that they maybe want to be known for, or they've gotten known for, and it would be difficult to remove that aspect of their business. I don't think it honestly works for a lot of these places, and it's one reason why I don't enjoy going there, because I don't like ordering. Not that their food is bad, but because it's hard for me to get through the process of ordering. So that's the justification that I would suggest that 1-pager menu, 3 categories-ish, with room for branding and information. Now, the way that I skirt around this during the holidays, because I'm often offering different things during a holiday season that I would on my main 1-page menu, is I create seasonal menus. And this can be alongside of your main menu, or could take the place of your main menu during a certain sales period. And that's also great for buyer psychology, kind of the fear of missing out. When people see something that you don't serve all the time, they're interested because they like it and they want to get it every year, or whatever it is you're offering them. A lot of times if it's a little bit new or seasonally themed, they're going to be interested. So having that not available all the time is also another good sales tactic for certain products. All right, so number 2, how do you know what to put in the menu? So now we've discussed how big should it be, the debate behind that. How do you know what to put on it? This is where market research comes in. So the debate that I hear about this normally is I want to make a menu of things that I like, or I want to make a menu of only the things that, I think people want, but with really no research behind it, versus a menu that's been market researched and product tested, which is what I'm going to suggest. I see some people basically saying they don't necessarily want to go through those steps before they make their menu. And I think it's a huge mistake. I think you're wasting your time in some ways, and you're likely losing sales because the menu hasn't been honed at all. So that's what I want to talk about here. And if you're wondering about market research, questions about that, I'm actually going to be covering it in a Q2 bite-sized workshop that's going to come up. It's either going to be April, May, or June. I haven't chosen which month, and I'm going to be posting the Q1 workshops, hopefully today, tomorrow-ish, once I get them up. So the market research aspect, especially for people who've never done it before, you're just a home baker, you're looking for, or you're starting your business or your storefront, it's going to help you with that too. So it's not going to be overly techy or too complicated. It's going to be very simple. We'll cover it then. But in a nutshell, I want to describe it for you. So what we're going to do is finding information that is going to be helpful in deciding what certain items or what certain categories are going to be a draw from your current audience to view your menu and order from you. And your goal here is to find a market gap, which is something we're going to talk about in depth during that bite-sized workshop in Q2. And really, that's finding something that is desired and that people aren't being helped well or at all with. So one way you can do this for free to just kind of dip your toes in and take a look is to pay attention to what people are talking about on social media. If you're not on social media, you can use a different source of information or even directly ask people or look at different bakeries. But social media is kind of a quick way to check this out because you can do keyword searches and you can check your local groups if you have those. And this is going to be different for every location. When you start paying attention to what people want, what they're asking for, what they're posting about, what they're commenting on, what sells out quickest, that's when you're going to start to see where the desires lay and where the market is flooded. So I want to give you an example of where I'm living now because I've just been floored, honestly, by the shift between living where I used to live and living here. The place where I used to live was really in dire need of custom cookies and cake designers. It was, I mean, we could not service them. There just were not enough bakers living there to support the community's needs. It was a daily ask and a daily I'm busy kind of environment, which meant consistent work for all of us bakers, which is great, but also higher wages for me and my fellow bakers because we were all kind of helping each other stay within a similar wage category to where everyone was getting paid pretty well, which was great. Now moving to this new location, being new, it usually takes about 2 to 3 months just to unpack and adjust to a new environment. So I took those months to pay attention to what I was seeing in these social groups that I had joined, as well as going to local bakeries, buying their products, kind of checking out what was in their cases and what seems to sell for them. And it ends up in this new place that everyone and their mom bakes. Like it is saturated for the most part, especially the things that I normally do, it's completely saturated. And a lot of people, unfortunately, are selling at cost. I know they're selling at cost because I teach pricing and I know that unless they're making some really not great shortcuts in their business, they're likely not making much and they might just not notice or might not understand that that's happening. So because I know that, it wouldn't really make sense for me to create a menu for this location with the same items I sold at the last location, right? So that's where the market research is going to help you see where to actually start, not with what you like to make or what you're good at or even what you think is going to sell, but actually figuring out, hey, what's the background to this? What are people doing and saying? Getting the evidence. And what I've done also is I see that it's flooded with what it is I normally do, but I can also see where there's a market gap offer, where there's excitement and there's a few people who are selling certain products that sell out immediately. And that could be something that I could get better at, or I could look into, or I could just note that if I'm going to sell XYZ, it's got to be in a different way. Because likely what I was selling there would be even considered overpriced here for this market. But because I've done my pricing, I know that that's what it needs to be at for me to be comfortable with it. So it just might not be a good fit for here. So make sure that what you're choosing for the menu is not only a solid item taste tested thoroughly by a group of peers, which if you don't know how to do that or you're curious how to put together your taste testing group, I'm going to have another bite-sized workshop in quarter 2. So you can watch for that as well. You're also going to be choosing options that have shown potential to be high in demand. So that's the market research. And then the taste testing is going to make sure the products that you are placing on the menu are stellar. We don't want any flops on there and we don't want any space fillers. We want every single thing to blow someone away so that they never make a bad choice when they pick from your menu, and that's going to skyrocket your trust factor. And depending also what's going on in your environment, it really could just be adjusting the serving size or the flavors, etc. When you're going through taste testing and you're trying to hone your menu, that really could be the answer to the menu setup, not necessarily scrapping an entire item, just changing the way that either people get a hold of it or the flavors that people are interested in. All right, moving on to number 3. I just wanted to list off a couple common menu issues that I see with new menus, because if I say any of these and you know that it's happening with your menu, know that you're getting started and that's great, but your menu can be much better. Okay? Because I want your menu to sell for you so that you don't have to do all the talking, so you don't have to do all the pushing. The menu is going to start getting traction on its own. That's what I would prefer for your business, so you're not having to do as much personal marketing and things. You want your menu to speak for you. So some issues I'm seeing: sharing a menu with uncommon named items and no descriptions. I think it's likely happening because people are making menus without photos and possibly sharing with maybe small groups that they're already baking for, so that small group would know what they're talking about. But as a new person to this community, I would never order something that had, like, I've seen names similar to white puff cookies. What is that? Right? Sprinkle bun. What's a sprinkle bun? A yellow loaf. What is that? You know? um, and there's no descriptions. So it stops me from ordering because I have no idea what it is that they're making. How do I even know I'm interested in it? Do I want to start a conversation with this person that I don't know, asking what a yellow bun is? Is that, or a yellow loaf? Is that going to be weird? So giving them some descriptions is important. Number 2 would be sharing a menu with no pictures, like I said. I'm seeing it right now a lot because people are, I think, getting excited. Bakers are getting excited about Valentine's Day, and they're posting Valentine's Day menus, but without any photos. Um, it's just a deterrent. You're selling less with the menu. So if you can get in there, and I get it, samples take some time and a little bit of funds to make. Claim it on your taxes. It's a write-off. I know that's not the best, it's not free to do it, but that's part of business. And if you don't have any product photos, get them made and then make the same products every year or similar products so you can share that photo again. So when you're taking your photos, imagine that you're going to be doing it 2, 3, 4 years down the line as well. And then you only really have to do it once. But I'm telling you, you're losing money here, and each time you share it, it's less impactful because there's no imagery. People buy with their eyes first. People start salivating. People get excited about purchases. And that you need to do that with a photo. It can be somewhat accomplished with copywriting if you're really good at describing something to make it sound really delicious, but it's a lot more work and harder for people to read a menu than to just look at it. So those photos are super important. Number 3 on here is sharing a menu way too late. And I know we're super busy. One of my main goals here is to make sure that you're not burning out and you're not overwhelmed. But we have to recognize that people need at least about 2 weeks in advance to really start noticing something, especially new buyers, because they need to come into contact with it multiple times before they make a purchasing choice. So just know, if you're making a menu and you're sharing it less than 2 weeks from an event or a sale, you're gonna get less eyeballs on it, and it's gonna be less effective. Even if it's the best menu in the world, we're looking at getting that timeline in place. And then the last one here, When there's no proofreading or checking of the visibility of the the type font or whatever it is that you're using, I see this one a lot, and I'm not the proofreading I kind of get because when you're really close to a project, you'll miss, something's misspelled or you have the twice in a row or whatever. I get that. But when you can't read, if you cannot read the font when you're making the menu, then no one else is going to be able to read it. So making sure that the background and the font work so that you can read the font, it shouldn't make your eyes hurt to look at it. So if you're using tertiary colors that kind of make your eyes sore when you're staring at it, then no one's going to want to read the menu. Okay. So even if it's like a little more boring, I would go with that and have some good images as far as the color of the background and all that, rather than making it so much that no one can read it or look at it for very long. So keep that in mind as well. Because really, what's the point if someone can't read it or doesn't want to look at it very long? What's the point of making the menu, right? So we got to hit that. We got to make sure that's okay. All right. I'm always here to help you inside the group. So I know that when it comes to menu making, you might want someone to look at it or you might want some input. Just post it in the group and we'll talk about it. You can even tag me in there if you want me to specifically comment on your product or on your menu image. We can also set up a private coaching call. Everyone in the group gets their free 20-minute call. And after that, there's longer calls that you can purchase if you like. And they're all a little bit different. So you can pick which one is the best fit for you. Or you can even join me and the whole Build a Better Bakery group or coaching expert group that we have on staff in the Perfect Menu course. And that breaks down a menu into digestible parts so you can focus on building it step by step. So it's actually videoed step by step building. We build one with you. It also comes with food photography instructions. So if you're not super great with photography, Claire covers how to get these good photos with just a cell phone. And you're going to get branding instructions from Autumn, who's the marketing and sales coach in the Elite program. And then Claire does photography and organization in the Elite program. So you're going to get information from both of them as well as me helping you build the menu itself. We're going to make sure it's polished and ready to sell. That's the whole point of the menu course. For today's video bonus, your opportunity is to get that course for half off over the next 24 hours. So if you're interested in raising your menu game, this would be a good opportunity. And it might be a fun little belated Christmas gift for your business because at half off, it's sitting at about 28 bucks. So it's pretty affordable gift to get your menus up leveled. Now, this course would be perfect for a person who wants to see a strong menu built from the ground up. So if you just need to see each step, this would be good for you. We use a free Canva template that anyone could get access to on the platform. So if you wanted to use something similar, you would need to open a Canva account, but you can have, I believe, still a free account with them, and you can use that. And then we show you how to use the Canva tool itself. So if you wanted a little bit of design instruction, that's in there. And essentially, it's a tiny Canva design tutorial, a tiny buyer psychology tutorial, a tiny branding tutorial, and a tiny photography tutorial all kind of wrapped up into one so that what you end up with is a really strong menu at the end. Those who've taken the course said that after posting their new menu within just a few hours, they started receiving messages and texts asking them about their services and also including compliments on their menu. So people were noticing and actually taking a moment to say something, hey, that looks really good, right? So I want that for you too. That course is ready to enroll. To get that limited time offer for half off, you're going to input code half off at our Teachable website. And this is valid through, I'm going to leave it up until January 12th, end of day. So it's a little more than 24 hours. I am going to post it right here for you. So if you need the link, it's in the comments. You can head over and get signed up, and it is money back guarantee. So if you don't love it, you just let me know. I'm pretty sure you'll love it. But if you don't, we're here to make sure you're happy. So just let me know. So let's recap what we talked about today. My opinion is that a menu should stay within one page, 3 main categories with supplemental limited time seasonal menus when needed. Main menu, seasonal menus, not one huge menu. That's too much. That's more than one page. Market research and taste testing should be performed before a menu is set. We're going to go over it in quarter 2 if you need some help with that. Making sure you have branding Concise ordering and contact information, as well as some nice product images on the menu, will help others save, share, and become attracted to your menu. So we want it to grow on its own. That's how you're going to make sure that that happens. And you can grab that half off opportunity if you'd like to get your menu made with our BABB team, and you can start selling more products ASAP once your menu is set up in that way. That's it for me today, talking about menu size, the debate topic on big or small menu. I'll be here every Thursday this month at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, right here in the main discussion area to talk more on common startup debates. I'm not seeing any questions coming in now, so if you have any later on the replay, let me know and we'll chat about it. I'm working on the new bite-sized workshop lineup for quarter 1. I just need to make the little registration link, so I'm going to make those hopefully today or tomorrow, and they should be posted soon. You'll be able to find the events posted in the group and registration on the website at buildabetterbakerynow.com. I'm also going to put that in the comments just in case you are interested in the bite-sized workshops. I know some of you have been asking me about them, so I'm excited to get them set up for you finally. Okay, and then that's it. And I hope you have the best day, and I will talk to you again next week. Okay.